Okay, I think we shall begin. Salam Sejahtera. Good morning, distinguished guests, colleagues, and friends. Welcome to our Austria channel. My name is Joy, and as the Secretariat of ASEAN Occupational Safety and Health Research Institute Austria, it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you all today. On behalf of the Austria Liaison Office, I'm thrilled to begin the first session of our Austria Sharing and Talk series, ASSIST program. Initiated by Austria, ASSIST was created to serve as a regional platform where experts across Asia can share best practices, exchange insights, and collectively advance occupational safety and health. To kick off today's session, we are pleased to have Madam Rosita Sharif, technical expert from NIOSH Malaysia, serving as our moderator. So please feel free to drop your questions in the chat throughout the presentations. Without further ado, I will now hand the floor over to Madam Rosita to lead the session. Madam Rosita, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good morning to everybody. A very good morning to our distinguished speaker today, Dr. Kawali. I don't want to waste so much time listening to our voice from Malaysia. We want to hear from you. So I really eager to start the session right now. So please, everybody, please welcome Dr. Kawali Santormon, who currently serves as the Deputy Director for the Division of Occupational and Environmental Diseases within the Department of Disease Control, Ministry of Public Health, Thailand. Welcome, Doctor. How are you today?
I'm good, and I hope everyone's good too. Assalamualaikum, right? And
Yes.
good morning. Good morning, esteemed college researcher and public health advocates across Asia. So my name is Dr. Kelly, and everyone can call me Kelly for short. Yeah, and everyone, Lucida already introduced me. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got. I like to read out the whole biodata of yourself
Please.
first, if you don't mind.
you.
Thank you. Right. So additionally, she acts as a representative for the WHO Collaborating Center on Occupational Health, THA16, based within the division. Dr. Kelly possesses a comprehensive medical and academic background, having earned her Doctor of Medicine and completed her residency in pediatrics at Mahidol University. She further advanced her expertise in public health by attaining both a Master of Science and a PhD in epidemiology from the University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA. Throughout her career, Dr. Kelly has demonstrated strong leadership in crisis management and public health innovation, previously serving as the head of the home isolation team for COVID-19 and the head of the Center of Training Research and Innovation in Urban Disease Control. Her extensive research and academic contributions focus on critical environmental and occupational health issues, including PM 2.5, surveillance systems, the health impacts of volatile organic compounds, and the management of multi-drug resistant tuberculosis. She actively shapes public health policy and education as a subcommittee member for Occupational and Environmental Disease Control and as a lecturer on the Control of Occupational and Environmental Disease Act. Without further delay, please let us all welcome again Dr. Kelly, please.
Thank you for the introduction. When we gather at the occupational health conference, we initially spend time talking about hands, right? The hands that build our economics, the hand that type our data, and the hand that heal our patients. But today I wanna invite you all to look at the heart behind those hands. So let's begin. Okay. What happened? Okay. Sorry about this delay. I hope it's worked now. Okay. To understand where we are going, we must first look honestly at where we stand, right? Over the past 4 years, Thailand National Mental Health Check-in platform revealed a fragile baseline. Roughly 1 in 10 Thais are living with high stress or standing on the threshold of depression. When we look at our psychiatric survey statistic between 2015 and 2023, the curve is sobering. We saw a 1.7-fold increase in patients receiving care for depression alone, climbing from 231,000 to nearly 400,000 individuals. In total, 2.9 million Thais sought mental health support in 2023. When we disaggregate this data, a massive red flag appears in our youngest generation. The lifetime prevalence of depression among our 18 to 24 years old sit at 6%, double that of the next generation, and women carry twice the burden of men. Coupled with a creeping national suicide rate that reached 8.02 per 100,000 in 2024. To solve the challenge of invisible workplace stress, we deploy iWork Health, a tool that we purposefully refuse to call a questionnaire or survey, and we call it an organizational X-ray. And I want to show you how this X-ray reads a biological system across 3 distinct layers. First is access the overall scale of the problem. For example, if you look at the top bar, a traditional HR or human resource survey might look at the green zone here. See a 75 normal group and surveyed, yay, right? But an occupational X-ray focused leadership to look at the red, the 25, 1 out of every 4 workers who are actively standing in the at-risk zone. Second, is separate general well-being from clinical pathology. Look at the 2 dials in the middle. On the left, 85% of our people report excellent overall mental health, but right next to it, the preliminary screening revealed that 15% require clinical monitoring for depression. This is a vital distinction for us as health professionals. A person can feel like, oh, I'm okay about their workplace, while silently slipping into a depressive episode. Third, and most importantly here, is perform a psychosocial factor analysis. Is unmask why. Is break the workplace down into protective factors on the left and risk factor on the right. Look at the mock-up data here. When executive looks at the green box, they see wonderful news. 88% peer support, 90% work-life balance. But when their eyes shift to the red box, the root cause is unmasked at 65% heavy workload, right? This is an ultimate power of the X-ray. It stops management from guessing. It tells the director that you do not need to spend your budget on another team building seminar. Your team support is already 88%. You need to fix the task distribution. And further understand what this tool is, we first have to look at its origin. iWorkHealth originally developed in Singapore as standardized work-related mental health assessment tools. It was built through a major collaborative effort between key government and healthcare agency here. Recognize the immense value of this assessment. Our team, led by Dr. Rashmi Gaur and Dr. Orapan, officially request permission to adapt it. This led to the development of Thai version of the iWork Health Assessment tool, specifically tailored to capture the nuances of work-related mental health within Thai organization. When an organization implements iWork Health, it serves 5 core objectives. First is access assist. existing work-related mental health problems inside the workplace. Second is help leadership understand the true scale of those problems. Third, it acts as a prelim screening tool for general mental health conditions, including depression. Fourth, it takes a deep dive into a psychosocial factors. This means looking at the employee everyday reality, their job demands, how much autonomy they have, the social support, the organizational culture, and whether they feel recognized and satisfied. And fifth, is measure the direct personal fallout of the job, specifically tracking level of work stress and burnout, while grading how well the organization managed the psychosocial safety. Then I want to draw attention to the quote at the bottom right of the screen. We don't use the iWorkHealth just to collect passive data. The ultimate goal of this tool is to lead to the determination of concrete preventive measure and actionable problem solving. Okay, adapt from Singapore, right? This one is a developed Thai version of iWorkHealth from 2018 to 2023. The Thai version is adapted from Singapore established model to a rigorous 5-year validation process. The Thai version of iWorkHealth is a standardized workplace assessment tool designed to evaluate employee mental well-being, psychosocial risk factor, and burnout, backed by a multidisciplinary expert consensus here, and successfully pilot in the healthcare sector. The instrument translates large organization data into targeted preventive measures, and it now officially ready to launch. So for this, we have to thank Dr. Orapan and Dr. Rashini Gorn to develop this. And for this, iWorkHealth operate on a very straightforward psychosocial equation. It look at the load here, which is job demand. It weight is against the lever here. The lever here is job control and social support, and everything plays in the ecosystem here. That is organizational culture and job recognition, all of which synthesize into job satisfaction. It tests a fundamental human truth, right? High job demand are entirely manageable, provided that the employee hold enough autonomy and feels enough genuine support to absorb the shock. And this slide is the assessment measure, is evaluate across this 6 core of psychosocial dimension. I will group as the 2 job demand, job control, social support, and organizational culture, and job recognition and job satisfaction together. First 2, look directly at the mechanism of daily workload. Job demand, which evaluate workload intensity and whether tasks can actually be finished within regular hours. And job control, which look at the employee decision-making autonomy to choose their own working method. Essentially, it weighs the pressure placed on the worker against the freedom that they are given to manage it. The next 2 dimensions here is shift the focus from the task to the surrounding workplace environment. Social support measures the human safety net, checking whether manager step into help when problem arise and if colleagues actively cooperate. Scaling up to wider company level, organizational culture, test the overall atmosphere, specifically assess whether the workplace practice opens communication and treat its people with genuine fairness. Finally, the tool captures the personal return on the employee effort to job recognition and job satisfaction. It asks the final question, the vital questions that is good work actually being noticed and placed by supervisor? And does the employee feel enough
Yeah.
to want to stay by putting these 6 specific metrics side by side? Leadership gain an objective dashboard that point directly to where their workplace need healing. Turning to this matrix, we can see how the assessment decode the employee behavior using the classic job demand control model. This framework illustrates a vital psychological truth. Heavy workload are not inherently toxic. The danger depends entirely on how much autonomy an employee possesses. When a worker faces high demand with zero decision-making authority, they fall into the red high-strain quadrant, the absolute high risk for burnout, right? Conversely, if you give an employee the exact same heavy workload but grant them full autonomy to manage it, they shift into green active zone, transforming crushing pressure into a state of flow, professional growth, and high motivation. Looking at the bottom half of the grid, we see the hidden risks of an understimulating workplace. In the bottom left, passive quadrants, employee trapped with low workload and no authority become unengaged and apathetic, slowly losing both their skill and their enthusiasm over time. To the right, the blue zone here, we call low strain zone, offers a relaxed, highly autonomous environment, but one that can quickly leave talents workers feel too comfortable and starve of a meaningful challenge. The takeaway for leadership here is counterintuitive. Killing workplace exhaustion largely requires stripping work away from your people. It requires handing them the steering wheel. That means their autonomy to manage job by themselves. In 2026, the Department of Disease Control decided to practice what we pledged. We deployed the Thai Eye Work Health tools across 42 of our own central and regional divisions, capturing 3,145 personnel. Let's see. Look at the profile of our respondents. Predominantly Gen Y, highly educated, but carrying a hidden reality. 34% of our staff go home after a full workday to face a second shift, caring for elderly parents, young children, or bedridden family members. Furthermore, nearly 40% had taken leave for the physical issue in the preceding years, and almost 4% took leave due to mental issue. Turning to our own internal result, the data tell a fascinating story of both immense organizational culture and a very clear operational challenge. Let's look at the positive side first. On the psychosocial front, the DDC or Department of Disease Control score exceptionally well. Over 96 to 98% of our personnel report high job control, a supportive workplace culture, and strong overall job satisfaction. In fact, our general organizational management score sits a very healthy 78.1%. Our people clearly believe in our mission and they feel supported by their team. However, the dashboard immediately highlights our primary bottleneck here, job demand. While 63.8% of our staff handle their workload well, the remaining 36.2% fall directly into the risk group. Simply put that our people love where they work and they have the freedom to decide how they work, but there is simply too much work on their plates. And when we look at the left side of the screen, we see the real human cost of that workload. While the vast majority remain in good mental health, the cumulative pressure translates into three critical warning signs. 36.8% of our staff is dealing with actionable level of stress here. 10.2% are facing burnout, and almost 19% are currently at risk of depression. Now, let's zoom in specifically on our office staff. This data represents a massive, highly reliable sample of 2,534 personnel across 40 different divisions. When you look at the general demographic on the left, a very distinct average personnel emerged. Our typical office worker at the DDC is single, Generation Y female holding a bachelor degree who has been with the organization for about 1 to 5 years. This tells us we are looking at a young, highly driven, early to mid-career workforce. However, to truly understand their mental health, we have to look at what happened after they clock out. Moving to the top right, we uncover a massive amount of invisible labor. 32%, nearly a third of our office personnel, are active caregivers at home, looking after young children, elderly parents, and family members with limited self-care capability. Furthermore, over the past year, while 39% took leave for physical health, 3.8% officially took leave specifically for mental health issues. When we drop down to the core assessment result at the bottom, the macro picture is comforting. The solid majority of our office staff maintain a good mental health, but we must pull our focus to the bold figure here. 18.8% are clearly at risk of depression. When you connect the dots, a young Gen Y workforce navigate the standard pressure of office life, while a third of them go home to manage heavy family caregiving. That's 18.8% stop being a dry statistic. Mathematically, that is roughly 476 real colleagues sitting in our cubicle right now who require our attention. On the right side of the chart, on this metric, the environment looked phenomenal with score ranging from 90 to 99%. Our staff telling us we have the autonomy to do our job, we support each other, we love the culture, and we feel recognized. Yet, look at the blue bar here. Job demand sit at 64.2%. This means 35.8% of our office workers, more than 1 in 3, are operating in the risk zone of unmanageable workloads. When high-achieving people are constantly forced to outrun their job demand, the body keeps the score, and we see the human toll directly below the chart. 37.4% are sitting at risk for work-related stress, and 10.7% are experiencing active occupational burnout. While it might be tempting for an outside observer to view this red percentage as institutional vulnerabilities, we look at them alongside our organization management score of 78.7%. In occupational public health, a score this magnitude is a powerful indicator of institutional resilience. It's confirmed that DDC already possesses the structural readiness, the administrative capacity, and most importantly, the employee trust required to address this head-on. The data give us a crystal clear diagnosis. Our organizational culture is fundamentally sound. What we need to re-engineer is our workflow. Turning our lens to the administrative side, from the administrative side to the clinical frontline, we look at the cohort of 611 healthcare professionals. Look immediately at the right box here. 42.2% of our hospital staff are managing active caregiving duties at home. Think about that compounding a variable for a moment. Roughly a quarter of this group are working irregularly shift hours, disrupting their circadian rhythms. They finish a grueling 12-hour clinical shift, clock out, and immediately start their second shift as the primary caregiver for dependent relative. Their nervous system never officially go off duty. This brings us to classic public health paradox. In the leaf data below it, over past year, 35.4% took leave for physical health, yet only 3.1 explicitly recording mental health leave. As a public health experts, we know how to read between those lines here. Somatic masking. In the medical communities, stigma still dictates that it is professionally safer to call in sick with a migraine or severe gastritis than it is to admit to an acute depressive episode. And that masking reveals itself in our final diagnostic matrix at the bottom. 16.5 of our clinical personnel are currently at risk of depletion in raw human capital. Sorry. Okay. Let me. Okay. In raw human capital, that is 101 doctors, nurses, and medical technicians operating inside our wards today. Looking at the psychosocial mechanics for our frontline workers, we uncover one of the most profound psychological phenomena in healthcare. Look at the right side of distribution. Score of job control, social support, and overall job satisfaction sit exceptionally high between 95 to 98%. Even under immense strain, our clinical personnel maintain an extraordinary level of professional pride and mutual solidarity. Yet, the operational reality strike back on the far left here. Job command. Demand sit at the 62.4%, leaving 37.6% of our frontline staff operating inside the high-risk zone. Over a third of our medical professionals are consistently fighting a structural deficit of time. And you look at the number here. This leads us to a fascinating analytical paradox directly below the chart. We see a relative high risk of work stress at 34.5%, but look at the burnout rate, 8.5%. Why is the burnout rate for the hospital staff lower than our office staff, even though their job demand are higher? The answer lies in the vocation buffer. Clinical workers possess an intrinsic sense of purpose. Saving a human life provides a massive dose of a psychological fulfillment that temporarily shields the blame from complete burnout. But as public health strategists, we must look at this data and issue a strict policy warning. We cannot use our doctor passion as an infinite subsidy for an under-resourced system. This brings us to our anchor, and organizational management, a score of 75.5%. A score above 75% in a clinical setting proves that the relationship between our healthcare workers and executive leadership is fundamentally intact. They trust us to fix the plumbing. The strategic mandate from this assessment is definitive. We do not need to teach our healthcare workers how to be more resilient. We need to re-engineer the system so it stops the demanding that they be. Bringing the entire ecosystem together here in our discussion slide, we can finally map the structural anatomy of our organizational strength. Looking at the top tier, our department baseline sits at 36.8% for stress and 10.2% for burnout. And as the dot box to the left confirms, the primary catalyst driving this is job demand, when roughly 36% of an agency operate in a perpetual deficit of time. Accumulated fatigue convert into stress, which eventually harden into burnout. However, as policymakers, we know that treating a massive public health agency with one blanket solution is an administrative mistake. When we bifurcate the data by job characteristic, a brilliant operational contrast appears between our office and other hospital staff. Look at the left side, our office-based personnel. That job demand risk sits at 35.8, resulting in a 37.4 stress rate and a 10.7 burnout rate. For this group, that strength is what we call a pathology of volume. This is driven by the sheer logistic of the desk, workload management, backlogs, and the relentless pressure of moving administrative volume. Now look across to the right at our hospital-based personnel. Their job demand is actually higher at 37.6%, yet their burnout is lower at 8.5%. That strength is not a pathology of volume. It is a pathology of accountability. It is tied directly to the extreme psychological gravity of clinical service delivery, the weight of medical decision-making, and the reality of 24/7 continuous operations. They are not exhausting by amount of paper. They are exhausted by consequence of the task. This slide provides our leadership with the ultimate diagnostic clarity. Exhaustion is not a monolith. If we want to safeguard our human capital, our policy intervention must spread right here. For our administrative workforce, we must re-engineer how work is distributed. And for our clinical frontline, we must re-engineer how the human nervous system is relieved. Turning to the diagnostic radar chart here, we uncover a profile operational realities. An organization can possess near optimal protective factor in support control and culture, yet still drive its people to emotional exhaustion and burnout. The accurate spike here indicate our focal bottleneck, where 36.2 of employees sit at risk for job demand, bearing the structural weight of entire agency. When staff are trapped in a prolonged accumulation of high workloads, expectation, and inadequate rest, even a highly supportive environment cannot stop them from feeling chronically frustrated, compromised in their output quality, and carrying lingering fatigue from their previous shift into a brand new workday. You simply cannot out-culture an excessive workload. To build a genuinely healthy workplace, leadership must actively manage this factor alongside caring for employee well-being through a three-step operational intervention. First, we measure by utilizing iWork Health as an organizational X-ray to uncover hidden psychosocial risks. Second, we balance through engine tuning. Acknowledge that if job demand cannot be reduced immediately, we must proportionally increase our employee decision-making control and support resource to compensate. And finally, we execute crack detection by active monitoring the system, refusing to become complacent with high job satisfaction score while continuously tracking the fragile balance between daily workload and available support. The WHO explicitly defined burnout not as a personal failure, but strictly as an occupational phenomenon resulting from chronic workplace stress that leadership has failed to successfully manage. It manifests across three destructive dimensions: a profound feeling of energy depletion or exhaustion, an increased mental distance or cynical negativism related to one's jobs, and a severely reduced sense of professional efficacy. And this one is the examples from their stress and burnout. We must understand that identify the clinical between stress and burnout is the first step toward accurate institutional treatment. Why stress presents as an acute, overreactive emotional reaction that primarily takes a physical toll through the loss of physical energy. Burnout is fundamentally different. Burnout is an accumulated state of emotional exhaustion and numbness, where an employee becomes completely detached and blunted. It bypasses the physical and slides directly at the psychological core, stripping an individual not just of their energy, but of their fundamental motivation and professional hope. When an organization dashboard lights up red with burnout, executive leadership face a definite fork in the road. What happened next? As illustrated here, a psychometric assessment is merely a diagnostic thermometer. It proves the existence of a fever, but it possesses zero medicinal value on its own. If an agency collects staff data without committing to subsequent systemic operational reform, it commits an administrative failure, measuring the crushing weight of an exhausted workforce without ever offering to help carrying it. It is the most important next step for us to create the burnout intervention blueprint. We must stop trying to fix the person and start fixing the work environment. For decades, the global corporate reflex to burnout has been individualized triage, handing overwhelmed staff meditation apps or resilience seminars. Yet, empirical occupational research is definitive. Teaching an employee relaxation techniques while sending them back into an unadjusted, crushing workload yield virtually zero reduction in burnout. True recovery only begins when leadership reallocates its capital toward workforce redesign. Grounding our blueprint in the joint principle of the World Health Organization and the ILO, we establish an absolute institutional baseline. Burnout is never a personal weakness. It is the logical somatic response to a livable ecosystem. When an employee breaks down, it is the direct result of three converging structural vectors crashing inward: poorly calibrated work characteristic, rigid organizational management, and a toxic work environment. Therefore, an effective intervention cannot treat the individual at the center. It must systematically dismantle the pressure of the arrow pushing against them. To translate this theory into operational reality, the DDC utilized the T-tier management pyramid The architectural logic of this model is intentionally countercultural. While most modern institutions mistakenly invert this pyramid, spending their entire budget at the late peak of on individual therapy and crisis hotlines. We recognize that tertiary care, while necessary, is fundamentally insufficient. A sustainable intervention framework must anchor itself in the massive green base of primary prevention, aggressively re-engineering the macro system first. Dropping down to that foundational green base from previous slide, we execute level 1, system redesign, starting with ruthless workload review. In public administration, we strictly audit financial expenditure, yet we rarely audit human time. This intervention forced leadership to sit down every 6 months with a magnifying glass and ask 3 uncompromised strategic questions. Which tasks are generally essential to our public health mission? Which are historically redundant? And what can be completely eliminated? We must treat employee bandwidth as a finite, non-renewable resources. Still operate with level 1. This slide delivers 2 immediate low-cost quick wins, designed to instantly drop operational friction. On the left, we enforce priority alignment to kill the classic bureaucratic trap, where every single task is branded urgent, a mathematically impossibility that paralyzes workflow. Side by side with this, sit our meeting detox protocol. By instituting a strict decision tree that ruthlessly cancels any gathering lacking a concrete agenda, we stop holding our employee hostage in the conference rooms and hand them back the uninterrupted focus hours they actually need. Ascending to the middle yellow tier, we tackle level 2, manager development. Look closely at the mechanical engineering here. The middle manager here act as the literal institutional spring, tasked with absorbing clashing top-down executive directive while shielding the human network below them. If that manager is rigid, overly authoritarian, or paralyzed by self-preservation, the spring log up, transferring 100% of the kinetic shock from the top here, the top here from the high executive level to the frontline staff at the bottom. We must upskill our manager to be psychological shields rather than pressure conduits. The monthly check-in protocol once a month, we mandate that managers transform standard transactional KPI updates into a human diagnostic rule. Rather than just asking, is the report finished? The manager must cycle through 3 specific anchor questions. How is your workload feeling? What systemic blockers are making your life difficult? And what specific support do you need from me to clear them? This converts the supervisor from a passive task collector into an active operational snowplow. Finally, level 3, care for individuals. Once we have optimized the workflow and upskilled the manager, we deploy this 4 specific intervention as a high tensile personal safety net. We offer burnout workshops to teach advanced energy recovery, establish low-stake peer support coffee morning, institute mandatory 2-minute breathing buffer prior to heavy meeting, and provide an immediate confidential employee assistance program hotline. In our ecosystem, mindfulness is the final fine-tuning of an already well-oiled machine. We conclude our entire presentation with the ultimate strategic roadmap here. When executive board look at a mental health overhaul, their immediate instinct is to brace for massive financial expenditure. Yet, look at the brilliantly illuminated golden zone here in the top left quadrant. The data proves that our highest impact interventions, workload audit, meeting detox, priority alignment, and manager check-in sit entirely inside the low-budget quick win sector. This leaves global leadership with no more financial excuse. Killing burnout does not require a wealthy treasury. It requires discipline management. Okay. When an employee fact positive we move from burnout to depression. And this show 2Q or 2-question assessment. Our operational protocol strict forbid jumping to immediate clinical conclusion. We must understand that at initial yes to feelings of feeling down, depressed, hopeless, or taking little pressure in doing things only establish a baseline indicator of risk. Therefore, step 1, mandates confirming this prelims result through secondary standardized clinical evaluation tools like the 9Q depression severity assessment. So if you say yes, just one of these, that means you are at risk. And once clinical severity is mapped, step 2 dictates that we perform a holistic evaluation by cross-referencing the individual depression score against the other I-work health assessment dimension. We actively analyze contributing factors to see whether the distress is rooted in high job demand, accumulated work stress, job burnout, internal workplace conflict, or independent, personal, and family issues. This step is designed to achieve absolute clarity in distinguishing whether the depressive risk is a byproduct of our work-related factors or an external personal circumstance. We cannot accurately treat an individual's distress without first mapping the ecosystem that allow it to go. When an assessment data review an exposed cohort such as 18.3% of the workforce identified as at risk, Step 3 triggers mandatory organizational level care. The institutional response must be comprehensive. Conducting mental health promotion initiatives, provide psychoeducation on stress management, establishing professional counseling service, and deploying a robust employee assistance program. But most importantly, as the final point mandate, leadership must step in to actively review and adjust the underlying workloads and environmental psychosocial risk factors. We cannot simply offer our people a psychological life jacket. We are fundamentally obligated to calm the operational water they are swimming in. Finally, step 4, establish the absolute boundary of corporate intervention. Referral for clinical care when an employee presents with high-risk clinical score or prominent depressive symptoms. Internal organizational remedies must immediately yield to specialized medical expertise. Leadership's sole duty at this stage is to facilitate a direct, dignified referral to mental health clinics, certified psychiatrists, clinical psychologists, all relevant psychiatric healthcare services. A true institutional duty of care is knowing precisely where managerial support ends and medical science must begin. This framework links every single diagnostic tier to an ultimate operational reflex. For our stable, not at-risk majority, we promote a general mental health during routine cycle. For low to moderate cases, we provide risk guidance, administer the 9Q assessment, and schedule follow-ups. And for high-risk personnel, we deploy the 8Q or 9Q tools alongside an immediate specialist referral. Finally, the bottom tier exhibit our zero hesitation emergency protocol. The moment active suicidal ideation or self-harm risk is detected, the system triggers an immediate psychiatric referral and an emergency evaluation by a specialist. We have engineered a system where in a moment of human crisis, no manager ever has to wonder what to do next. The mental health crisis facing the global workforce will not be solved by vague expression of corporate empathy. It will be solved by disciplined application of structural reform. Let us stop merely wishing for healthier workplace and start engineering them. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Kelly. But please stay the slide because I have a few questions to ask from the slide.
Please.
Thank you, Dr. Kelly. I would like to also invite the participants, the audience, to also ask important questions. This is a very, I think, excellent findings that we can learn from you. I really appreciate the slide is so straightforward, easy to understand, and those informations are like diamonds, and like I couldn't catch all of them. So we really want to hear from you for a start. Oh, I already have a question now. Let me
Please.
ask this.
For the Miss Panadda and Dr. Orapan too. They analyze the data and most information
Absolutely.
come from Dr. Orapan too.
Absolutely. All the teamwork, all
Yes.
the hard work from all of you. I wish to congratulate in the first place. So let me read the question from Dr. Fatima.
Yes.
So she has two questions. She said, in your presentation earlier, most of the respondents are from Gen Y. As we all know, our Gen Z already entered and entering the workforce. How do you ensure the sustainability to sustain the blueprint to fit this generation in workforce?
Because now our workforce start to have Gen Z inside of our cup, right? And you cannot use that. I say we cannot use one blanket for everything. So if Gen Z have the more proportion, we need to reanalyze the blueprint again. That is matched with Gen Z or not. Because everything that work with Gen Y may not work with Gen Z. Yep. So we have to reanalyze everything again and see it's work or not.
Yeah, I totally agree because I don't believe that one size fits all. It has to be catered to a specific audience to look into to make it more impactful. We can make it generalized, but it will not be effective enough, right? So she has the second question: how to convince management that mental health interventions brings long-term return of investment to the company, Dr. Kelly?
We have to show them the data first, like the dashboard. I can show you the dashboard that the team make it. Let me show in the slide first. Where it is then? This one. You see the dashboard, right?
Yes.
in Thai language. And if you want to talk with your executive level, you just come with like a overall or common operating pictures.
Mm.
And then when they see it's like, okay, what happened? Why? Oh, 1/3 of our staff have to like take care of their child or their elderly at home. And when they see this, they will maybe a bit shocked, like, oh, what happened? Why 10% of them have burnout? Why the problem of job demand is like very high? And they can see like the slide that show the number of day of absenteeism. If
Mhm.
they see like the, oh, 10% or maybe 20% of their personnel have to pause the job because of mental health issue, that make a lot of impact with their business. So they first we have to show them that okay, there is a problem here. And if you don't fix or re-engineer your system, it may cause a problem later.
Yeah, it
Don't
takes a
have
bit
to
of
like explain everything, we just show them data. Yeah.
yeah, it takes a bit of to convince them that this is what it looks like. So if they want,
Mm.
if they care about their workers, then they have to put in some effort into it, lah. All
And
right.
it's like it's no, we don't have to pay money for that intervention. So why? Why they
Absolutely,
don't start?
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We help to highlight what are the things that can be redesigned, like you mentioned just now. Thank you, Dr. Kelly. Can we go back to the slide? I have my
Yeah.
own few questions. Dr. Fatima also said, thank you for your super presentation. All right. The first slide that
Yeah.
you showed just now, the first slide about statistics. Yeah, I'm interested to know. You mentioned the statistic is this is everyone in Thailand. Am I
Yep.
right?
It's not
Okay.
just workers. That's why
Ah,
we create I Work Health, because like
ah,
the mental health department, they collect the data from mental health check-in platform. It's from
yeah.
everyone
Right.
in Thailand. And I Work
Okay.
Health is just for workers.
I see. Very nice. So I love that there is a difference between the population of Thailand, what they think of mental health, what they think of high stress, depression, and so forth. And then you bring us to the eye health data. Am I right? Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Right. So then the second data in the next slide you mentioned about majority are ladies, women who suffer depression. And these are also, again, the whole Thai
Why?
population. Yes.
I think it's the
Because
same. Most of us are lady here, right? Is
we seem to,
there are
we seem,
4 factors that make lady have more depressed than gentlemen. The first, everyone know our hormone kind of fluctuate, right? When they
yes.
increase, or maybe before you go to the premenstrual symptom and your
Mm-hmm.
hormone fluctuate, and oh, that's
Mm-hmm.
how I feel depressed. Everyone may feel the same. The
Mm-hmm.
first problem is hormone and postpartum mood or postpartum depression, right? The
Mm-hmm.
second is the psychological mechanism.
Yeah.
Lady is like easy to like think about what happened to me. Why this like a instant occur to me but not others, and they think
Mm-hmm.
again and again. It's like a cognitive pattern.
Yeah.
The third reason is about the social burden or second shift. Easy look at most family. The
Mm.
mother have to
Yeah.
work at the
Mm-hmm.
office, right? And then when
Yeah.
they finish work at the office, they go back home. They have to work as a mom and a housewife.
Yeah.
But the man, not 100%. I not blame the man.
Yeah. Understand?
Normally the husband they just work in the office,
Yeah.
but then when they go back home, just sit and then, I'm very tired. And yes,
Yeah.
that's the third reason. It's called the second shift from
Mhm.
lady. And if you notice that the guy with depressive symptom, they
Mhm.
had to find it,
Mm.
ask for help.
Yeah.
Guys always like everyone should not know that I'm feel like very weak or something.
Mm.
But lady,
Mm.
if you feel weak, it's just easier for you to seek for help. It's just like, oh,
Mm.
help me, please. I feel not so good today. But
Mm.
for a man, it's just like, no, I don't tell anyone. I'm still strong. That is the fourth reason for why lady have like a more report of depression than men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Kelly. How about the eye work health that you adapted from Singapore, right? This tool that you adapted from Singapore. How is it the findings that you got that you've seen how Singapore's data before, right? You've
Yeah.
seen their successful story. So
Yeah.
how can you say between Thailand and Singapore, where are you right now?
Because the team just analyzed maybe like 1 or 2 weeks before, so we don't have to we still don't have time to compare with the others country yet, but it's the
Mhm.
next step for us to compare the
Yeah,
result. Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's
But do you
interesting.
absolutely, absolutely. I
Yeah.
was thinking, I think I remembered Singapore already presented their findings before. But I'm just wondering, are we somewhere near with what they found?
Yeah, we wish. I think like I will ask my team and me to compare the results together with
Yeah,
other countries. That would be
sure.
benefit for.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, that's nice. I'm wondering, is anybody in the audience would like to ask questions? Sounds like there's some voice. Anybody? No? I'll continue with my fourth question. I have six altogether. Dr. Kelly, bear with me. My
Don't
fourth
worry,
question,
please.
is there any difference of psychosocial hazard exposure between the private sector and the government sector? Actually, the one that you showed is between healthcare and office setting. Am I right? Do you
Yes.
consider them as private sector or government sector, or how do you consider them?
I think for this result is only talk. I mean, like it's only deliver the problem from the government sector, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as everyone know, government sector and private sector
Mm.
is very different,
Mm.
right? For the securities, oh,
Yeah,
for the public or government sector, it's like
yeah,
a low job mobilities and hierarchies, everything, right? And for the
yeah,
private sector, it's just like a if you work in the government sector, you're quite sure about your job security. But
yeah,
work
yeah,
in the private sector, so you will feel like insecure about your
yeah.
job tomorrow and be laid off, right? So it's the
Yeah.
first thing about the
Okay.
securities.
Right.
And I think about job control is the
Mm.
second. If in this study, I feel like the problem of the government system, they
Mm.
don't give the authoritarian to
Mm.
others, right? They always just,
Yeah.
oh, you cannot do that. Everything have to pass me. I have to decide everything by
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
This kind of the bureaucracy, right? But if you
Yeah.
work in the private sector, it's just like everything you can decide by yourself. You have the
Yeah.
high job control and high
Mm-hmm.
accountabilities. So
Yeah.
it's the second difference that I noticed.
Yeah. Do you mind if you go to the slide that shows the healthcare
Yes.
versus your data DDC versus healthcare? What was it was a very
Oh, the
interesting finding.
discussion slide, right?
Yeah.
It should be the discussion slide.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one, right?
The one
The
yes,
one
this
that you
one,
want.
yes.
Yep.
So
I
this
think
one is very interesting.
the main difference between government and private sector should be that way about the autonomy and about the securities. And for this office and healthcare,
Yeah.
what your question then?
So both of these are considered private sector. Are they government
Government.
sector or
Government.
government?
Yes.
Oh, both are government sectors.
Yes. It's
I
under
see.
Department of Disease Control.
I see. Interesting. And I can understand this result is extremely interesting because you said 35.8 risk in job demand versus the one in the hospital base is 37.6. But when it comes to work stress, this side is 37.4 and the other side is 34.5. Very interesting. Okay. This is very
For
clear.
the hospital staff here, the number is only about 600, right? And this one is about 1,000. So we may need to collect more data to see
Absolutely,
the real
absolutely,
problem for the
absolutely,
hospital staff.
absolutely. Right. Before this is my favorite slide actually. Thank you, Dr. Kelly. Before I continue with my question number 5 and 6, I just want to say something from the chat room. Mr. X Nicole Jaikol, he said, very good presentation, Dr. Kelly. It's interesting to get information from fellow Asian. Each country had their own ways in prevention, but for sure all for same reason go to achieve. We totally agree with that. Don't you, Dr. Kelly? Right. So my 5th question is, what has been the greatest challenge for you and your team to complete this research?
As I tell you in this slide, let me back to this slide again. I think it's very important that after we know the problem, I just feel like how that my organization will
Correct.
solve this
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. I totally agree.
Because now I'm still face the problem of high job demand. I cannot finish the work on my plate.
Absolutely.
That's too much, right?
Absolutely.
That's too many work right now.
Exactly. But it is
They
interesting
have to
because
tell them.
but these are interesting. You found the data, you found you've got the results, but means
Yeah.
like, oh no, there's more work to do now.
Yeah, I'm just realized that the problem
Yeah.
is here. So what should the organization do next?
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah. But it's
now I'm
okay.
at risk of burnout, right? Everyone at risk of burnout.
Yeah, that's my next question also. I mean, I think this is a good stress, meaning like you found something new that needs to be explored. I think that's the beauty of research. You don't just find something, found an answer or anything like that, but instead you found more questions for the next
Yes.
research. So when you say burnout, I mean that is an expression that we always use, but I felt that I think it's more like feeling of overwhelmed with happiness at the same time with nervousness and so forth. Don't you agree? The word overwhelmed is, I think, is the one that we're supposed to, because I think burnout will be a more lengthy period of time that you are feeling, but overwhelm is like when you see it and you feel, oh, it feels like a panic attack or something like that. What do you think, Dr. Kelly?
I don't think the burnout is kind of the panic attack. Burnout is kind of like something very chronic, but panic is kind of acute in my feeling. Panic is
Yeah,
kind of like, whoa, I'm suddenly feel like quick heart
too
rate.
much.
Yeah, it's too much
Yeah.
everything here. But for burnout, it's kind of like frog in the boiling, boiling,
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
just say,
So
boiling
am
milk,
I
right? Yeah.
So am I right to say the first impression is just a feeling of overwhelming instead of I felt burnout, but rather we should just say I think it's overwhelming.
I think the first feeling before you burn out is mean that you're overwhelmed with work and
Yeah,
you cannot manage everything.
yeah,
So like, and then your mental start have like some mechanism to
yeah,
like, oh, and maybe they release some hormone that you feel like, oh, I'm exhausted.
yeah,
I don't want to do this work. I don't want to
yeah,
go to the workplace
yeah,
Monday. I hate
yeah,
Monday, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like it's kind of the mechanism of your mental and your body to just
Mhm.
like develop to like chill yourself
Absolutely.
from
Yeah,
like overwhelmed work. Yeah.
yeah.
That's my feel.
Awesome.
So I am agree with the word you use, overwhelmed.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you don't have control to manage everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we should celebrate some kind of the positive stress should be celebrated a little bit. So it's actually a form of excitedness, but at the
Yeah.
same time nervousness.
That's funny because like Dr. Arapan, she told me like the day before yesterday, right? After she's like a study more with burnout, she diagnosed most of the colleague in our office that she burned out already. She burned out.
Yeah. Well, I guess she's trying to take precaution before it becomes burnout. So she's detecting, oh, this could become burnout. I mean, Dr. Orapan, she's a legend. Excellent. Awesome. Right. So I also want to mention from our audience, Ms. Nuraini said, thank you, Dr. Kelly, for the excellent presentation based on the real situation in Thailand. How do employers perceive workplace mental health, and what has been the most effective approach to gain their commitment for mental health initiative?
From I cannot get the last question that you asked. Let me.
Yeah, it's in the chat room.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I go to the chat room right now. Excellent, based on the real. How do employer perceive workplace mental health? For this question, we have to show them that our office has this problem right now, and it may cause from mental health. And what has been the most effective approach to gain their commitment to mental health initiative? We can show them that if you start this mental health or burnout intervention program. Here, I will show this. I think this slide is the summary of burnout intervention blueprints here. So you can show them the dashboard first that, okay, there is a problem here. And this one is the action roadmap for burnout intervention blueprint. Do you want to fix this? And if you start here, redesign the system, the mental health problem or absenteeism will be improved. You just like tell them and ask them first what they think. And if your CEO or executive level, they understand and they agree and they realize that is a real problem, they may start with the intervention program that you propose. This is my that idea that I think it should work.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Dr. Kelly. And just one last question. When you do the I Work Health questionnaire, it's a questionnaire, right?
Yeah, yes, questionnaire.
Uh, did you differentiate between the employers and employees, or just the employees who answered
Now it's just an employees.
just employees? Okay,
Yeah.
right.
Because
Awesome.
I think everyone will have the same problem. If you send questionnaire to the executive level, they don't submit the answer or fill the form for you. If you
Yeah,
do
yeah,
this, that's why it's always come from employees. Because
yeah.
when they give the questionnaire to me, I still don't have time to fill up the I
Right.
work
Agreed.
questionnaire.
Agreed. Yeah, absolutely. But what you are saying is that when the employees fill in the questionnaire, the results, these findings, this slide, the one that you're showing right now, this is the result that you showed to the employers. Is that right?
Yeah,
You
we will
showed.
have to show to the employer first that is okay, it's a problem. And now we have intervention. I propose this, you buy it or not. If you buy it, we will create the intervention program. I think it's very important because I want the no meeting days. Then
Ah,
what happened? Why they have to ask me to have to okay, everyone come to the meeting rooms, and sometimes I'm not
I
just
see.
relate with that issue. Just just leave me. I want my hours to finish my
Yes,
job.
I understand that. Yeah, I love to use that word. Leave me alone. I just want to do my work. Yeah, understand. So but the dashboard, how about the dashboard that you showed us just now? Is that can be seen by the employers?
Yeah, it can be seen by employers.
I
You
see.
mean
I
this
see.
one?
No, the one that you showed in a different page. Ah,
Yeah.
this one. Yeah, yeah. This one is can be seen by the employers.
Yeah, we just give them link and
I
they
see.
will see. But actually we have to go and tell them what happened. They will not see the slide. They just want someone to explain what's going on. Yeah.
Hmm.
That's normal for
Awesome.
CEO. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, I have no more questions, but we have one more question from our audience.
Please.
Mr. Remy asking, have you come across any company in Thailand that you can give example as a success story in implementing workplace mental health initiative? What did they do and what are the results?
We don't and I mean launch this questionnaire to the private company yet. But
Ah,
as I heard from the many private companies in Thailand, they have the
mm,
mental health leave.
mm,
In case that you just lost your loved one, your father and mother die, or your pet die, you can
yeah,
have a leave for 1 or 2
yeah,
days.
yeah.
And if you have the problem like a feeling down or depressed or anything, they give you the mental health consultant. Just okay, you can book the psychiatric or just
Yeah.
yeah, someone that can counselor that can help you. So they provide feeling down leave. Yeah,
Mm,
right. And
yeah.
they provide you some the mental health clinic. Yeah,
Mm,
for you to book an appointment to see the doctor.
I see. Yeah.
Um, yeah, some of them just try to reduce the meetings, or I'm not sure. Some of them can do a no lie after working hours, but I'm not sure some of the company cannot do that because if they want some oh, it's urgent, you have to
Yeah.
send the work right now. So maybe they cannot do that. But I'm encouraged to do that in case if it's not the real urgent, they should okay, stop, or the lie, they have the function that sends silently. So you
Mm,
can send if you want, if you're afraid that you will forget to send this message tomorrow morning, you just send and send silently first. And then
yeah.
in the morning, it's just okay, this one is your work.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's
Awesome. Thank
maybe
you.
the
Yeah.
system that we can improve.
Right. Okay, Dr. Kelly, we're going to relieve you now. You can stop sharing the slides now.
Oh,
A
thank
bit of
you.
yeah, we're gonna do some taking photos, group photos. I think host will may have to unlock the pinning of the picture. Then you can get a gallery of everybody's photo. But at the same time, I want to remind everybody that Dr. Kelly is from Ministry of Health, Public Health. Yeah. So
Yeah.
does that include occupational as well? It is.
Yeah.
It is correct. Yeah. But when it comes to safety, does it? Who does the enforcement for occupational safety?
For safety, they have another organization.
Ah,
Yeah, the
I
Ministry
see.
of Labor, they will take
Mm,
care for that.
I see. But psychosocial hazard will come under Ministry of Public Health. Am I right?
Yeah, because we have the Department of Disease Control, right? And
Yeah.
Department of Mental Health. We
Right.
work together because the Department of Mental Health, they just conduct the My Month last month for
Mm.
in the May, right? So
Mm.
we joined that event too. So two departments work together.
Okay.
Mm.
Awesome. That's all from me actually. So we're waiting for everybody to open their camera so that we can have beautiful pictures with you, Dr. Kelly. Come on,
Thank you,
everybody. Yeah.
everyone.
Let's have everybody's picture in here. I think our host will take the photo. Am I right? Joy, is it over to you? I think.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Rosita, and congratulations to Dr. Kelly for the incredible, insightful sharing. Yeah, I would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to everyone in the audience for active participation. So as we wrap up this session, we have taken the photo, right? Yeah. Okay, we have done so. And then kindly drop us any comments about our talk series in the chat box if you haven't already done so. Yeah. And before we wrap up this session, I want to say that your support is what makes Austria regional platform a success. So we look forward to seeing you at our next session. So stay safe, stay healthy, and have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank
Thank you
you,
so much, everybody.
everyone.
Thank you, Dr.
Yeah.
Kelly. See you again.
See
See you,
ya.
Dr. Kelly.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Bye, everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you.